Geoffrey Thorne, J.C. Campbell, and Robert Venditti conclude their cosmic set future book as Jon Stewart continues his violent war against the Khund and their god in red. Teen Lantern is sent on a quest to learn more about her mysterious gauntlet, and Hal Jordan blasts off from Earth to learn what happened to the Green Lantern Corps. Geoffrey Thorne caps off his awesome Jon Stewart story in fantastic fashion, bringing in some new old characters and reaffirming that Jon is a soldier of hope. I really enjoyed Thorne restating that the ring or power isn't what makes a Green Lantern strong, and it's the man behind the ring that is the true power. Jon also tapping into his former life as a soldier to lay out a really fun and action-packed battle plan was really great, and I enjoyed it pulled from many aspects of DC's cosmic and science side, like Mother Boxes, Quantum Realm soldiers, and even Orion, who I very much enjoyed. Kind of looked like a Khund, and I think it might be because maybe the new gods look different to other races compared to what they look to humans, like they look human to humans and Khund to Khund. If that is very much the case, that's a really interesting part of the new gods that I wish was explored a little bit more, since it's quite cool and makes it a little bit more science fiction-y. J.C. Campbell continued the Teen Lantern story from Young Justice and the upcoming Infinite Frontier, and finally put her on a path to learning the origins of her gauntlet. I really did like that. Right away, they're quick to explain that this definitely is not Krona's gauntlet like I think many people thought it was, though it is possible it might be related to it and maybe someone is looking to remake his destroyed gauntlet. Kelly also getting a little bit more backstory here was welcome as well, and I liked that JC dealt with the fact that she is still a child. So what would a child in deep dead space act like? Tackling that she would be scared beyond belief. Saddling her with Mogo was great as well, and it's great that they both formed a bond with one another and became friends, which is something I'm hoping they continue in Infinite Frontier. Robert Venditti stepped back into Green Lantern territory with his really simple Hal Jordan tale that adds a lot of lore to this side of the future. I really enjoyed Hal's parallels here with Abin Sur, commanding a ship through the vast universe only to crash land on what is left of Oa, much like how Abin crash landed on Earth. And then on top of that, finding Joe Mullen, who is, for all intensive purposes, the new generation of Green Lanterns, and like the last Green Lantern, if you will. So that fun little dynamic of Abin finding Hal and then Hal finding Joe, I thought that was quite cool. I also like that with the story we got an idea of how much the galaxy is in chaos now, thanks to the Green Lanterns not being there, and despite that, Hal never gives up or gives in and is determined to sort this all out. On the artwork side of things, the book continued to excel, headlined by Tom Rainey, who drew an awesome action-packed Jon Stewart war story, filling each page with lovely battle scenes as well as some more of the really awesome space pirate soldier Jon Stewart costume. A costume I'm really happy they seem to be keeping somewhat going forward into Infinite Frontier. Andy Tong tackled Teen Lantern in fantastic fashion, relying on Will Quintana's fantastic colours, and at times lack of them, to help sell Kelly's fear in the cold, dark space. When color was in the story, it was absolutely beautifully applied to Andy's lovely jungle environments on Mogo, which just looked spectacular. Dexter Sawyer makes his Green Lantern debut this issue as well in a wonderfully rendered Hal Jordan story, and boy, what a perfect artist he was to capture the speed and velocity of the story, and speed at which Hal travels, because Hal's a test pilot who never once slowed down in his life. I loved how much action Dexter can cram into a page and a panel without it being too much or an overload, and here it's just every panel is just something different and something cool to look at. Future State Green Lantern issue 2 was another fun exploration through DC's cosmic landscape, delivering some action-packed tales that set the stage for the Green Lanterns in Infinite Frontier. As a long-time Green Lantern fan, I'm eager to learn what becomes of the Lantern Corps in 2021 and what new adventures the writers have in store for us. I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. Future State Green Lantern issue 2 finds Ken's demand her team tell her what just happened and where they are. Digby says that the station is intact and it was some kind of failed field wave that scattered their gravity stabilizers. The box team report in, saying that they are on schedule but the mother box tech is delicate and complex. Kens asks about John and his team, learning from Illo that the ground team are moving everyone to Arc Zeta since Arc Epsilon was destroyed by the Vanguard dropships. Kens' stabilizers kick back in as the team find that Nort is dead and Salak is barely alive, finding he's been buried in rubble. John meanwhile has been captured by Fire Fist and his acolytes. The hero is paraded in front of the cheering men as Fire Fist says that the God in Red swept away the Green Lantern's masters and now they will sweep away the lanterns themselves, but the chaff that they are sweeping away fought back and it killed, so now they will allow it to choose, fight or flee. John is freed from his restraints and given a weapon as the men continue their chanting. Khund contacts John, telling him that they can get him out of there, but he refuses, telling them to stay with the plan. The acolytes are sent to hunt down John as his team continue to get the people to safety, knowing that this is going to be close. Khund knows that there is no time and the ship will leave without them as Khund tells them to get the Shah on the Ark as she gives the command over to Digby, racing to the airlock and donning her jetpack and breather to go and help the others. She tells the team for now, John is on his own, as John meanwhile is hunted by the acolytes, holding his own against them as Khund tells Illo she is on her way to deal with the Vanguard. John is grabbed by one of the acolytes, but he stabs the man with his axe, kicking him in the face and killing him. John says that the beings never get it and always focus on the rings, but they don't get that the power doesn't come from the rings or the Guardians, since they are just tools, and even though he's stuck in wild space against the acolyte legions, they are scared of them, and Fire Fist stinks of fear, and it's probably because he knows how weak he is even though his skin is like titanium plate. John notes how the Khund race has too many arteries in them, which is why he was easily able to down the acolytes, having cut all of their arteries and leaving them to bleed right out. Illo and Khund meanwhile continue to shepherd the people onto the arcs as the Vanguard arrive. Before the heroes can stand and fight, the men are all blown away by the arrival of Khund, who rockets down to the planet to help. More Vanguard soon come through the smoke and ash, so Khund tells Illo and Khund to go, but Illo refuses, wanting to fight the Khund, but Khund grabs her with her powers, taking her aboard the Ark. Khund calls to the Vanguard, telling them who she is, but she knows they don't know who she is or the hellscape world she came from, a world where everything tries to kill you, but her people adapted, and while they aren't the best fighters like the Khund are, they are the best weaponeers in the Spiral Arm. She deploys a group of little orb drones that spread throughout their ranks, saying that when her planet wants something to die, it dies. The drones and Khund all explode, taking out the entire Vanguard army as Digby is told the mother box is ready. The infiltrator strike teams get ready as well, telling John that they are standing by for his order. John is recaptured as the final Ark makes it off planet, and Fire Fist says that John is the chaff that is left behind and who thought they could fight back, and they are the God in Red Scythe and Cutting Blade, and they will cut the chaff from the galaxy. John laughs, so Fire Fist tells the captured hero to speak his mind, so John tells the box infiltrator teams to go. Fire Fist is soon besieged by a bunch of mites, which attack him, but the villain says that the trick of John's won't save him. John says the villain has slaughtered trillions in the name of the God in Red, so maybe it's time he met his god. A boom tube opens and Orion steps through, saying he's not pleased. The people watch in awe as Orion says that he is not the god of war or butchers or berserkers like the Khund think he is. He's the god of soldiers, and when the cause is just, they fight, and when the darkness is crushing, they stand fast, since soldiers live to end battles, not seek them out, and John Stewart is such a true soldier, and if the Khund wish to follow Orion and be his true vanguard, then John Stewart will show them how to do so. Fire Fist is angered, knowing this is just some sort of trick again, but his men aren't with him on this. The villain tries to attack John, but begins feeling strange as the mites, which are revealed to be small Imskarian soldiers, enter his armor and attack him from within. John says that the armor the villain was wearing is the body of the Green Lantern Rue 92, and he's taking him home. John radios into Digby, knowing the man is in charge now, asking for him to send a medic. John tells the regrowing Imskarian soldiers about his friend Ray Palmer, who they might like to meet. The hero comments about how he never thought he'd have a whole colony of the soldiers hanging right from his belt. The infiltrators ask if they can remain on the body of Rue so they can repair it and get it ready for what's to come, but John says they've already done so much, from building a mother box to killing a Fire Fist, and none of them signed up for this, so if they want to, they are more than welcome to stand down. The infiltrators, however, refuse to stand down, wanting to stay until the end. John is given a special gauntlet, and he tells them all to buckle up since they have a war to win. Using the gauntlet, he lights up the sword over Orion, rallying the Khund under his banner. At another time, the Council of Oa find the gauntlet that was found on Earth concerning, since it can steal the power from the central battery and that shouldn't be possible. The Council also find its resemblance to Krona's gauntlet disturbing. Teen Lantern, the owner of the gauntlet, however, interrupts their thoughts, asking where John Stewart is and if they have an internship program. The beings say that John Stewart has been sent on a mission, but he brought her there because he shared their worries and they must determine what the gauntlet she wears is, since their attempts to examine it were fruitless. Kelly reminds him that their attempts were just trying to pry it from her arm, something that the Guardians thought would work, but now there is one course of action left. The beings have traced the gauntlet to where it came from, telling Kelly that she is to head to the coordinates they have given her and meet with Lantern Joe Mullen to investigate. The Council want to keep the teenager safe, hence why Joe will be accompanying her once they meet up. Kelly is happy to be on her first official mission, but the Council tell her that she will not be traveling to her destination alone, and they'll be sending one of the biggest and best lanterns with her. Kelly hopes that it's the dog alien that she's been told isn't a Pokemon, but Teen Lantern finds out that it is Mogo, who once Kelly is on its surface, tells her about how it can be a lantern. Kelly asks if they all become planets and if it's the last step of being a Green Lantern, frustrating the planet. As they head deeper into space, the planet soon gets dark and Mogo reveals that they are entering the Butez Void, a sector of space that has no stars or galaxies, and it's the fastest way to their destination, otherwise it would take millions of years. Kelly wishes that they had some light, so Mogo causes some of the flora on the planet to begin to glow. She asks if there are any monsters in the void, but Mogo says that it's dead space, asking if she's scared, but Kelly says she was once part of Young Justice and her first time out they fought their way through the multiverse, so she's got this. Suddenly Mogo goes quiet, saying the central power battery is gone as their power completely goes out. Kelly begins to panic, telling herself something has happened, but this is her time to prove that she can do this. 12 days later, Kelly calls to Mogo, hoping the being can hear her since it's getting cold and darker on the world. Suddenly there is a boom above and something falls towards the planet. Kelly thinks that it's a rescue, racing towards the impact sites, but she finds giant black alien monsters. The creatures attack, but Kelly uses her constructs to defend herself. Only the monsters, however, are able to grab her through the constructs, trying to eat her. She smashes one in the face, escaping into the jungle and hiding from the creatures as they stalk the cold, dark jungle, looking for the girl to eat. Kelly begins to cry, knowing that she wanted to be a hero because then everything around her would make sense, and it would have been all for a reason, and she had to be a hero, otherwise she would have just been a scared little girl, knowing the Green Lanterns would never have chosen her if she was. Mogo suddenly talks, saying they came back thanks to the willpower in the gauntlet, knowing that they couldn't leave her alone. Kelly says that she is scared and Mogo is as well, but he won't let being away from home stop him, and he thinks it should not stop Kelly either. The girl agrees, saying that she has an idea now that Mogo can tap into the gauntlet's power. Kelly gets the monster's attention, having them surround her as she plunges her fist into Mogo's ground, powering up the planet again and causing the creature to escape from the light. Thanks to the battery in the gauntlet being enough to power Mogo, Kelly takes it off, leaving it embedded in the planet so it can power him, and while it won't be enough to escape the void, it's okay since she isn't alone now, and one day they'll leave, but they'll just have to make their own light until then. Sometime before in Coast City, Hal Jordan begins a recording on his ring, saying that he hasn't heard from the Corps in over a month and the Justice League can't find Simon or Jessica. He details the energy amplifier for his ring Cyborg made before the hero disappeared as well. The heroes who are left have their hands full keeping Earth alive, but someone has to see what threats are closing in around them from across the universe, so this will be Hal Jordan's final transmission. Hal signs off, saying that he might be the last Green Lantern left, and one way or another, he's going to find out. Using the energy amplifier, Hal blasts off into space in his rocket, sailing through the universe as he begins his flight log, detailing how he encountered some Sinestro Corps members close to Earth, maybe because they smelt blood in the water on the planet. Quickly taking them down, Hal continues his journey, heading to Yzmalt to get intel on the Red Lanterns, but instead he finds the Khund, who have begun worshipping the god in red. He found them vicious and feral, barely escaping with his life. Hal isn't surprised the Sinestro Corps and Khund were advancing, but he is surprised to see Warworld again, knowing he destroyed it once, and he wants to do it again, but he knows his mission to find the Green Lantern Corps is more important. Dodging the planetoid's fire, he heads back into deep space, attacked by Manhunters, Orange Lanterns, and many other evils planet to planet, making Hal realize that everything the Corps has fought to stop is coming back and the peace that they have made is coming apart. Hal ends his log as he broadcasts on all frequencies, coming in for a crash landing at his destination, calling to any Guardians or the Corps for help. He realizes the desolate planet he's crash landing on was Oa, and it's nothing more than scrap and metal. The ship crashes and Hal emerges from the wreckage, finding everything is gone. A voice, however, calls to him, knowing he's Hal Jordan. The voice belongs to Joe Mullen, who grabs Hal, demanding to know where he was when the Corps needed him the most.